Tell the audience. Can anyone guess how many siblings Isaiah has?
How many siblings?
Can anyone guess?
It's a big number.
7.
No.
14.
Oh, kind of close. No, 12. I'm one of 12. One of 12 siblings. I'm the second youngest. The second youngest. I'm 22 now. And yeah, I grew up only with my dad and my brother. I grew up only with one parent, so I didn't have my mum around when I was growing up because my mum and dad were split up. So for me, that was a really hard thing for me and my brother to go through. Like growing up, not having a mum and single parents, and things was pretty difficult in the start. But yeah, like my dad and my brother and I, we're so close, so supportive. But yeah, like I had that experience of growing up without my mum, and I felt like I did really connect to music to really heal that kind of void that I felt like I didn't have with her, which was amazing for me because as a little kid, like I remember I would feel so, like a big part of me was missing and I didn't really know why, so I turned to music to kind of really help me heal through that. Yeah.
So,
like as a kid growing up, I really struggled with that, worrying about what other people think of me, worrying about what other people are going to say, in school, like your peers, friends, family, always worrying about what others had to say, and I was worried that I was going to get laughed at for being a singer. So in primary school and high school, I kept it like a really big secret that I could sing, and I didn't tell any one of my friends because I thought that being different was a bad thing, and I didn't want to show people what I love to do because I didn't want to be pointed at and laughed at. So I kept it hidden from a lot of people outside of like that church community for a long time because I felt like it made me different and I didn't want to show people and basically get laughed at until who's here is in year 8? Who's in year 8? Yeah, so when I was your age, I got an opportunity from my music teacher to sing at one of our big school assemblies, and I know this school has like 2,000 students. So like my school in St. Joseph's College wasn't that big, but I think around 1,000 kids or a bit more than 1,000. That was like my biggest audience that I'd ever performed in front of, and back then, being so shy and really worried about what people thought about me and feeling really insecure, you could probably think, did I say yes or no? No, right? I said no. I was like, I really didn't want to do something like that. I didn't want to put myself out there. I was worried about what Tom, Dick and Harry were going to say about me. So I said no to my music teacher. I was like, no, I don't think, no, stuff that, I can't do that. That's too much, But this was going to be the first time that I'd ever sang in front of my school, sang in front of my friends. This was going to be the first time I ever really showed people who I really was and what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. So for me, only being like 13 years old and for it only to be like a school performance, which seems like it's not that big, but for me on the inside, it was like a huge deal. I ended up getting up there and performing, and I sang Locked Out of Heaven by Bruno Mars, I think it was.
Classic.
And then by the end of it, everyone was up on their feet and clapping and giving me this like massive applause. And here I am thinking like, I can't believe I said no to this. I can't believe I was going to let my fear and I can't believe I was going to let my, insecurities get the better of me. And I don't really know where I would be now if back then I didn't start putting myself out there and believing in myself and what I did. And it starts at a young age, like it did for me. Like I was only 12, 13 years old when I first started really getting out there and performing. You guys here are younger than me and are around that same age. So it starts now with thinking about like who you want to be, what you want to do, being confident in yourself in the things that you want to achieve in life. Because I remember when I was that age, like I used to be so shy. I would hate my dad asking me to get up and sing in front of the family, or I would hate even like sometimes getting up in front of church to sing. Like I hated being looked at and like being on stage and being in that vulnerable position. which was weird because, you know, I love music and I love to perform, but I just really struggled with like putting myself out there.
X Factor.
After that, yeah, I'm getting to that. So I'm saying, so that year 8 performance, that was literally the kickstart of a lot of things that I started doing. I started, you know, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that I did that. I want to do this competition. You know, I came to Shepherd and I started doing Shep's Got Talent, I think it was a few years back. I did My Whalers Got Talent. I did Rich River Idol. So I was really putting myself out there because I found this new confidence that I don't think I would have realized about myself if I would have stayed in that bubble, you know, and stayed in that comfort zone. So getting out of that comfort zone is super important. And then from there, you know, 2 years after that first performance in front of the school, I was on X Factor in front of a nationwide audience, and then, you know, a lot of things happened for me. So I take it back to that school performance of really putting myself out there. And I know school is a very hard experience for a lot of people. You know, we all want to fit in, be like everybody else, but I'm here to like tell you that your own differences make you special. The things that you love to do are unique to you. Believe in them, follow them, because you never know where it's going to get you. And like X Factor happened for me, that was pretty incredible. And to think that just a few years before that, I just did my first performance in front of the school. It was pretty crazy. So
But
yeah, I want to like tell people here that
Yeah.
you know you can, you know, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Yeah.
But you did X Factor twice, and I think a lot of people don't know that about you.
Yeah, I did. So when I went on X Factor the first time, I actually forgot the words to my song, and I actually got eliminated on the first time I went on X Factor. And you know, with being somebody that was working on his confidence and really putting himself out there and still feeling a bit unsure about himself and about things, for something like that to happen to me, like I was pretty much devastated and, you know, like so embarrassed. I mean, like you forget words on a singing competition. It's probably the worst thing that could happen. So the worst thing really kind of did happen, and I kind of felt like, you know, I felt like I should have given up at that time. I felt like I didn't ever want to go back on any type of singing show. I felt like I was really defeated, and I felt like a loser at that point, because, you know, here I am thinking, oh, I must be a pretty good singer. Yeah, I get on a show and forget all the words to my song, and, you know, that was a really embarrassing. Now it's kind of funny as well, but it was embarrassing at the time, and I really thought, you know, like maybe I shouldn't do this, maybe it's not for me. But every time you get told no and you fail at something, it's only an opportunity for you to keep going. Like, use that failure as another stepping stone to keep on pushing forward, because if I didn't go back the next year, I wouldn't have won in 2016. So if I would have kept down there and kept feeling defeated about something that happened to me, I don't think I would be where I am today. So, you know, when you get told no and fail at something, remember, put a foot in front of the other and keep going. It makes you stronger. Yeah.
True that. So you did X Factor, you won, and then it was like within a few months you found yourself in Eurovision. What was that like?
So the Eurovision competition was in 2017, and that was actually over in the Ukraine, which is so crazy, like with what's going on over there, because, you know, I remember being there and it was like such a beautiful place, and for now, what's going on over there, it's crazy. But yeah, in 2017 I got that opportunity to do that. So my world was really, really changing before I even knew what the heck was really going on. Like, I couldn't really comprehend what was happening. And, you know, when I got over to Europe, it was a crazy experience. It was watched by 250 million people.
Millions.
It was big. So yeah, that was just another cool thing that kind of came out of like this whole story of like, you know, believing in yourself, and the importance of believing in your passions and believing in your dreams, that they can become a reality. Because, you know, like I said, 5 years ago, I was literally like in Echuca, like just a normal guy. And like the moment I put myself out there and started stepping out there and believing in what I could do, my whole world just honestly changed. And like that really can happen for anybody, no matter if it's music or if it's, you know, music or singing or performing or if it's a sport that you want to do, or if it's something you want to go out and study and become, or something you really want to achieve in life. Like having that drive and really believing that you deserve that is so important. You know, I feel like when I left my hometown and I went down to Melbourne and I was, you know, in doing all, my world was crazy, you know, I started feeling like I had, you know, I was missing something on the inside of me. And I only realized in the last 2 years, like, that I was missing home, I was missing the land that I'm from, I was missing my family. I feel like, yeah, in the last few years I've only realized the importance of culture and the importance of having a connection with your family, where you're from, because I was out there traveling and, you know, here, there and everywhere, and on the inside I felt a little bit empty, and I didn't realize that was because, you know, I needed my family, I needed my land, I needed my culture, I needed that connection back. So, I mean, in the beginning I didn't quite realize, because I guess I was too young and I didn't really know myself and my cultural identity, but now, like, I'm so solid in that. I know where I'm from, I know what I need to do whenever I feel like I need that connection. As us young, you know, Indigenous followers here, you know, it's so important to know who you are, where you're from, know your family, know who you can connect to, you know, like, out there in the big world, you know, it's hard. I know it's hard. Yeah, but I mean, anyone here, you know, I would highly, highly say how important it is to keep that connection, I think, because I felt like I lost it a little bit, and then I had to realize that and come back to that. And yeah, I feel now in my spirit like super strong, and yeah, it's all about keeping that spirit alive.